On this week's edition of The Overtime, we'll take a look at the new transfer to the Coconino Panthers baseball team and how their season is going, as well as NAU Football's Victory as their season comes to an end. Following that, we will be covering the new transfers to the NAU men's basketball team. And finally, we will take a look into the NAU women's soccer team and their road to the championship match. All that and more on this week's edition of The Overtime. Thank you for joining us, and welcome to this week's edition of The Overtime, Northern Arizona's only sports show. I'm your host, Julia Castro, joined by your sports reporter, Daniela Romero. Daniela, are you ready to talk all things Northern Arizona sports?
Thanks, Julia. Let's get into it.
The Coconino baseball team has added another Panther to the roster. Junior pitcher Anthony Lucero transferred across town and is making an immediate impact.
The Coconino baseball team has a new transfer from their hometown rival, Flag High. Junior Anthony Lucero has joined the team as an infielder and pitcher. He says the move across town has given him a fresh start in multiple areas of his life.
I was having a lot of family issues between my mom and dad, and I kind of just wanted to get away from all the drama, and because it was really throwing me off in school, on the field, I just didn't feel the same.
Although he was struggling in school, his recent transfer to Coconino High School has turned his life around.
In all, I feel really good here. I'm a lot more happy. My grades are a lot better. I'm performing a lot better on the field, and I'm just overall I just feel better.
What he appreciates most about playing for Coconino is his close relationships with his teammates.
How everyone acts around each other, the friendships, and how well we get along together, how well we play together, our chemistry. It really makes us a good baseball team.
He finds his performance on the field has also improved. Since joining the team, he has a batting average of .280 with 2 doubles, a triple, and 6 runs batted in. He has also been one of the Panthers' top pitchers.
I have contributed good stuff on the mound at the plate. I have a lot of RBIs. I've driven in a lot of runs, hits, strikeouts. I've done my job on the mound, held people to a close score, got us wins.
Moving on to collegiate sports, NAU football fought hard against Southern Utah this past Saturday to bring home the Grand Canyon Trophy. The game started off with Southern Utah taking the lead, but NAU was able to come out after the half and shut out Southern Utah. Daniela, what else can you tell us about this game?
The Northern Arizona Lumberjacks came out firing after halftime as they held onto the Grand Canyon Trophy. Hitting passes of 37 and 42 yards, the Lumberjacks then built up a dominant run game that included 4 second-half runs of at least 14 yards and carried NAU to the 28-20 victory. NAU produced 28 unanswered points, turning 14-0 deficit less than a minute before halftime into a 28-14 lead early in the fourth quarter. 3 of the scores came on consecutive drives, with the Lumberjacks first getting on board to a quick drive right before halftime. Trailing 14-0 after Lance Lawson's 1-yard touchdown run just 52 seconds in the second quarter. It was a pair of essential throws by Keandre Woodtee that set up NAU's first score of the game. Woodtee pounded the ball into the end zone 3 plays later, giving the Lumberjacks their first lead of the game 21-14. With just under 5 minutes left of the third quarter, Woodtee finished the game completing 23 of 35 passes for 289 yards, with a touchdown pass to Kevin Daniels adding 38 yards on the ground. Woodtee accounted for 2 more scores, while George Robinson rounded out the scoring that led them with the 102 yards, 18 carries, kicking the ball deep with 2 minutes left on the clock. Southern Utah's plan for a quick stop didn't go as planned, as Robinson and Woodtee combined it to run out the clock and get the victory.
Well, it sounds like it was a great game for the Lumberjacks. Let's hope they can keep the momentum going when they host the Idaho Vandals this weekend in their final game of the season. Last week, NAU men's basketball team announced 3 new transfers to the team, which include 5'10" guard Jalen Cone, 6'8" center Justus Rainwater, and 6'2" guard Mason Stark.
NAU basketball is welcoming a few new players for the upcoming season, one of which transfer Mason Stark, who has circled back to Arizona where he plans to improve the athletic program.
I think we come in there and make an impact and do really good, and hopefully change the program around and put NAU on the map. So that's my goal.
Stark wants to make a difference as a new teammate, and graduate transfer Justus Rainwater seems to agree, as he hopes to see the Lumberjacks make it to the NCAA tournament.
I feel like I have a lot more to offer to just the game of basketball in general. And ultimately, my goal is to go to the NCAA tournament. And I truly believe that that's something we can do at NAU.
For both of these players, Arizona holds a special place in their hearts, which allows them to feel more at home. For Rainwater, he started his college career at Cochise College in Douglas, Arizona. For Stark, he was a standout at Marcos de Niza High School in Tempe.
Also, just being close to home, I think, is a very important thing. Spent a lot of time away from home, away from my family, and so they haven't been able to come to as many games as I think they would have liked or I would have liked. So I think this gives a good opportunity for them to see some games and also see some old friends.
Growing up in Washington, the tall trees and cold air is a familiar feeling, and having friends in the valley helps. As for Stark, the few-hour commute from Flagstaff to Chandler played a big role in his decisions to play for NAU.
I've been in South Dakota for 4 years, and I felt like a new opportunity and a change, and being able to play in front of my family more, that was a big part of my decision.
Another factor that drew him in was Coach Shane Burcar's importance of including culture to give the team a stronger bond.
I really like the way he, goes about things, and he's super professional and he wants to win, and that's important to me. And then, like I said, the culture side of things too. He cares about the culture, which is important, and that's what makes teams win.
As for Rainwater, he was noticed by Coach Bucar at the All-American JUCO Showcase, where they continued to keep in contact over the years.
He liked me then, and so we've always kind of had conversations and communication between us. And I just think the world of Coach Bucar. I think that he's a very respectable man, and I just am super excited to come play for him.
Well, I personally can't wait to see these players in action. Hopefully, these new players can get the Lumberjacks a championship next season. Don't go anywhere yet. After the break, we will discuss the NAU women's soccer powerhouse who stand #1 in their region.